Now that we've added a vocabulary for tour types and added it as a specialties field into the guide content type, it would make sense to then go ahead and switch the tour content type to use this new taxonomy instead of a text field for its tour type. And what we can do instead of creating a new field and adding it to the tour content type is to reuse this field that we used for the guide type. This is one nice thing about fields, is that they can be reused. Okay, let's go ahead and begin by going to Structure, and then let's click on Content Types. And then next to Tour, let's go ahead and click Manage Fields. Okay, what we're going to do is follow the same kind of pattern that we did when we updated the Date field in order to use the Date field type. And we're going to add a new field, import the data to that new field, and then delete the old field. Okay, so we have the option to add a new field here, but we also have the option to add an existing field. And notice we get to select the label. So while we use the label specialties for the guide content type, we can go ahead and use tour type as a label for the tour content type. So let's go ahead and type in tour type. And then under this field to share, we're going to click the drop down and select term reference field specialties. And then for the widget, let's go ahead and check the select list, since we're going to use a single option, and a select list is a pretty nice input for that type of selector. And let's click Save in order to add this field. Okay, notice that we jump straight to the second batch of settings for this field. We have the global settings already set for this. We've already set the label to tour type. We can make this a required field. Let's go ahead and leave that unchecked for now, and let's leave the help text empty. I'm going to scroll down. We can set a default value. Let's go ahead and leave this at empty. And we have the number of values and vocabulary. Now, because this is a tour, there's only one tour type associated with each tour. So while with the guides, we can have multiple options selected for this input, for the tours, we only want there to be one. And we can go ahead and change this for just this instance of the field. So let's go ahead and set this to 1. Okay, let's go ahead and save the settings. Now let's go ahead and take a look at one of our tour pieces of content and see how this field displays. I'm going to go ahead and go to Find Content in the shortcut bar. And we already have our data being filtered by tour type. Let's go ahead and click the first one. We'll click the Edit operation next to the Mount McKinley Club. Okay, and let's scroll down to our new input. Now we have tour type right here. And if we do a drop down, we see we have the option of none, base jumping, extreme snorkeling, and mountain climbing. So this is exactly what we were looking for. Our next step then is to take the data that we have in the tour type field that we originally created and move it over to the new field, and then we'll delete the old field. So since we're on a tour page already, let's go ahead and take the tour type here, mountain climbing, and let's set the tour type down here to the same. Let's go ahead and save this data. I'm going to click Save. Let's go ahead and edit the other two tours. We're already filtered by tour here, so let's go ahead and just go through the entire list. I'm going to scroll down. This one is extreme snorkeling. Let's go ahead and select extreme snorkeling for the tour type here. I'm going to click Save. And then for our third one, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit next to it. I'm going to scroll down. This is set to base jumping, so let's go ahead and select base jumping from the tour type. And let's click Save. Okay, so we've now updated our data. So we just went through our first example of sharing a field between two content types. So what are the big advantages to doing this? Well, one of them is that if we find out that one of our tour types is misspelled, then we can fix it and it will change across the board, both for guides and for tours. Also, if we add a new tour type, that new tour type will then be available as specialties for the guides and as a tour type for the tours. Now, because both of these are using a taxonomy reference or term reference field, then that gives us a couple other advantages too. and we'll see one of those come out when we change the field that we're using in our calendar view. Before we go and adjust our calendar, let's go ahead and remove this old field from our tour content type. I'm going to go ahead and click on Structure in the admin bar. I'm going to click on Content Types, and then I'm going to click on Manage Fields next to the tour content type. And let's go ahead and take this old tour type, which is of type text, and let's delete it. I'm going to click Delete. We get a confirmation form. I'm going to go ahead and click Delete again.